Hi, I'm Elvie, and I want to give you a review of the 500i Stihl chainsaw. So this is one of the first 500s in the state of Montana, and this is the world's first fuel-injected chainsaw. So this is the first time I've used it, except for just one little cut. I use it to cut these windows out. So first off, I cut the straight part of the window to cut the openings here and here to make the window opening. Next, I put a mark here and cut this angle here for the outside trim, angled for the windows. And then this slot, which I cut with the tip of the saw right here. And that makes the slot for the angle iron, an angle iron to go in to create the window frame. So, and then last I cut an angle piece that sheds moisture, rain off the outside of the windowsill, which is at an angle like that. So I use this saw. This is the 500i, and it's about 80 cc, I believe, but it's fuel injected, and I'm very, very impressed. So this morning I cut all the windows out of this Wilderness Hideaway model from Meadowlark Log Homes. And let me count the windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 11 windows and 2 doors. I cut all these out this morning, and I cut 3 windows of the spline after lunch right now. So I'll give you my review of this saw. I'm absolutely floored with it. Let me describe to our viewers what I've got in my hands. This is our local Stihl chainsaw shop in Libby, Montana. I hope the German manufacturer is listening to this and gives the guys at Northwest Motorsports in Libby, Montana, a thumbs up, a good report, because they're an awesome dealer. If you want to buy a chainsaw, even somewhere else in the country, just get a hold of Northwest Motorsports in Libby, Montana, our friends down there, and they can get you Stihl products. But this is the saw. They've got 2 of these for the last month or so on loan for different people. Loggers and ourselves have been using this, testing this saw, and we have placed an order for 12 chainsaws. Let me talk to the manufacturer, so hopefully get their attention. Meadowlark Log Homes ist vielleicht die erste Firma in den USA für die 500 Kettensäge Sprenger. Wir wollen 12 von die Kettensäge. So I said Meadowlark Log Homes is one of the first companies, first people in the United States to run this 500i. We want 12 of these chainsaws. And I hope they are listening and get these saws out on the market. Because so let me describe. There's a generator, like an electricity generating generator on board that spins to create power, and that feeds this computer in this area, and this computer operates an electronic fuel injection, direct inject system right in here. It doesn't even get very dirty, this filter. All that cutting. So the way their video describes it, every stroke of the piston, there's an injection of fuel, just like an automobile or a diesel engine or a gasoline engine in larger sizes. So it's a very amazing technology that has never before been done on an engine this small successfully. And this saw is not yet in production, not fully, not in the United States anyhow, but they're saying in a couple months. So we're going to switch over all of our main saws to this 500. And so that's the real quick description. There is no carburetor. It's an electronic fuel injection system like a car, or like almost every other engine that there is. It results in lower emissions, less fuel consumption, but it puts the power output is what we're liking. It's extremely smooth, and there's a tremendous power output. It is the lightest saw for the amount of power. They call it power to weight ratio of any saw ever made so far. It is the lightest and the most powerful in comparison to for any saw that's commercially produced. and it's the future. It burns a lot cleaner, and so it handles really nice. And we like the slim design. It's not very wide, so it handles really nicely to be able to handle and do precise cuts. And what we like in this industry is a lightweight saw, but with lots of power, because power translates into you're less tired at the end of the day because you're cutting quicker. You don't have to hold the saw as long. It's not really a light saw. I would call this a mid-size to toward the heavy end of a saw. It's not your homeowner saw. It's got a little beef to it, but the power that's there is so incredible. We are willing to hold this, handle this saw that's slightly heavier than what we're used to using in exchange for tremendous horsepower and torque. So I hope you find this interesting, and I recommend this saw. It's a very expensive chainsaw. In our industry, we want to get the best we can because it makes things easier for the guys working. I was impressed that this morning, I think I broke all my records of cutting out windows in the amount of time with this saw. It just handles beautifully, but the power is at your fingertips. One thing I noticed, it's very noticeable, and that is when you pull the trigger, the power is there instantly. It's right there. The speed, it revs up instantly. So I hope you find this interesting, at least some of you. Some people aren't into technology or chainsaw buffs, but and so for our use, we exclusively use the Oregon chain. We don't use the Stihl chain. We find that the Stihl chain is very well suited to the forest, but it's not as well suited to our fine cutting. It doesn't cut as smooth. We're not sure why, but the Stihl chain, saw chain, it cuts rougher, and I believe it's better suited in the forest and firewood cutting, logging operation. It's great, but in our particular situation where things are fine cut and smoothness and all that, we find the Oregon brand of saw chain to be superior at 3/8 pitch. And we use this very lightweight bar. It's called the E-Light. Well, they call it light bar. I thought it was called E-Light, but ES. It's made of aluminum, and it's about 1.5 pounds lighter than the regular steel bar, but we use this bar exclusively for our bigger saws. So, well, that's kind of fun. We're really excited about this. Get those Germans to get cranking and get these saws made, and it's gonna be fun in the future. This is all we'll be using for our main production, unless you come up with something better, but I doubt it. So, folks, thanks for watching.